Tortured. It's From the Front Row with Johnathan T. Rokford.
Yeah, I know. There was some crazy matches and stuff. Hey, speaking of crazy, did you hear about the snowman that got upset when the sun came out? Yeah, he had a total meltdown, dude. Yeah. Crazy. Hey, have you heard from Philip? Yeah. I haven't seen him yet. Yeah. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, Johnathan T. Rokford, coming to you from the front row. And after a night of battle here in WPA at Elimination or Surrender, we have tons to cover, and we're going to do it as quickly as possible because we're tired and we got shit to do. Of course, as always, we start the night out with game changer action as Lycan Umbras took on his victim of the Emperor 2K Anomalyum. And that match went fairly quickly as Lycan said he had other things to get to and he didn't have time to waste. He was able to defeat the Emperor and sit him down. He literally sat him down on the throne in the bathroom too. Yeah, I heard it was the shit. That match was the shit, really. Or it was a shitty match. I don't know, one or the other. But we kicked off the official elimination or surrender with a tag team elimination chamber match that I don't know, folks. I'm still trying to figure out WPA people here in WPA. You get a nice match, you get title match, you get a opportunity to go for titles, and you don't show up. Now I don't know what it is. Maybe you're scared of success or whatever. But the match was scheduled to be OVE versus Anarchy versus the Emperor 2K Anomalyum and Quani Fist versus South Bronx Savage and Supreme Knight. Now, out of those competitors, OVE showed up with Captain Chaos and Martel the Carpenter. So you're thinking, oh, it's going to probably be an easy night for somebody. No. Anarchy didn't show up. They were nowhere to be found. Mark 69 and Horror Show Homevlik. Couldn't find them. The Emperor 2K Anomalyum and Quani Fist, they showed up to fight. And South Bronx Savage, no partner, decided to go at it alone. And he did pretty good, folks. Because at the end of the day, OVE won. Earned himself a shot at tag team titles. As Captain Chaos was able to pin Quani Fist. Doesn't matter if it's single competition or tag team. Nobody likes to lose to anybody named Quani Fist. Not, it's not. They don't want it to happen, folks. Now, in our next match, it was a television title #1 contender elimination chamber match, and we had the Messiah versus Shona Campbell versus the Goonfather, who didn't show up, versus Switchblade versus the Wraith. And the first person eliminated, of course, was the ever-present holy loser known as the Messiah. Was the first one taken out quick like that. In the snap, it was a walk-off. Now, the next person eliminated was Switchblade as he went out. It was kind of dull anyway. So it came down to Shona Campbell versus the Wraith. OG versus New School. And Shona Campbell, who has been on a tear. As a matter of fact, just the other day, she was recognized as Phillips Pick of the Night for her resilience in overcoming her captivity and gaining gold. And folks, she's now the #1 contender to the television title, currently held by Lady Assassin. Yeah, at this point, the Messiah might want to change his name to something else, because you're not a Messiah. False prophet, more like it. Now, in our triple threat title #1 contender and elimination chamber match, we had Shepard Bane versus Casper 2779, who didn't show up, versus Johnny Rocco versus the First Lady Alexa Leslie versus Needles Kane versus Hikaru Hartwell versus the Goobly Goonster. Now, the stipulations of this match were the last two standing would move on to challenge for the triple threat title, currently held by Shona Campbell, our #1 contender for the television title. And folks, it was a brawl, as Shepard Bane was the first one taken out. And like I said, Casper didn't even make it to the match. Second person got taken out, eliminated, was Goobly Goonster, which does not surprise me. Now, it came down to Johnny Rocco, the First Lady Alexa Leslie, Needles Kane, and Hikaru. Now, in a moment that's strange and we can't explain, First Lady Alexa Leslie looked like she was about to get pinned, and Johnny Rocco saved her. Now, I don't know if it's because they just was recently in a tag team, or they both have an affinity for characters named Lily, or maybe Lily told him to do it. But in his saving him, he turned around and received a super kick from Hikaru Hartwell and was pinned in the process, being eliminated. Now, while laughing, Needles Kane wasn't paying attention, and the First Lady caught him off guard and rolled him up to take him out. Meaning, First Lady Alexa Leslie and Hikaru Hartwell were the last two standing in the ring, and they will move on to a triple threat title match. Oh man, I don't think Johnny was too happy about that, getting kicked in the face. The one time he does something nice, and trust me, after what he did to Philip, he kind of deserved it. But yeah, that was a hard kick. The crowd was like, "Oh, we thought he might have lost a tooth." Now, our next match was for the Intercontinental title, #1 contender, and it was another elimination chamber. We had a lot of elimination chamber matches, folks. But what do you expect from a pay-per-view where elimination or surrendering is in the title? And we had the Essential Jayla Masters versus Crazy Canuck versus Bobby Blaze versus Lucha Libre versus the Dark Stalker. And folks, Dark Stalker went on a tear. First person eliminated was Crazy Canuck. I was kind of surprised by that one myself. I thought he would have lasted at least to the last two. Now, the next person eliminated was, of course, Bobby Blaze, who got eliminated second. And at the same time that happened, Lucha Libre was done and out, as Jayla Masters took him out. So it came down to Jayla Masters and the Darkstalker, and the Darkstalker was able to prevail and is now the #1 contender toward the Intercontinental title. And folks, I don't mean any harm. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but the Darkstalker's on his rise up. That could spell trouble for whoever holds the Intercontinental title. Now our next number one contender match in an Elimination Chamber style was for the world title number one contender, and it was featured Lycon Umbras versus Delirious versus Jermaine Walker versus Nerkahante versus Red Death, and they all showed up, folks. Every last one of them battling it out as Delirious was taken out first, followed by Nerkahante, till we got down to a triple threat match. And Red Death was able to turn around and hit Lycon Umbras with a move that it was vicious. It was like a DDT off the top rope. And as he got up to get ready to prepare to face Jermaine Walker, he was met with a backhand slap heard around WPA, and Jermaine Walker was able to pin Red Death and become the number one contender to the world title. And folks, we don't like to predict things here. We just tell you what we believe. And it's revolving the world title. Jermaine Walker's going to find some way to get his hands on that title. Now, we moved on from Elimination Chamber matches and number one contender matches on to championship matches, as we had the WPA Trios champions, the Master Sean Puff, Chrysalis, and the substitute Mac Barley taking on the Super Champion King, and then Robert Isaiah Salea and Texas Hate You. Folks, woo. That match went all over the place. And it ended when the Super Champion King was able to pin Mac Barkley, lead his team to victory and gold. So we have new Trios champions. The Super Champion King, Robert Isaiah Salea and Texas Hate You. Robert Isaiah Salea was happy as hell. Folks, like I said, the kid, he's got a lot of moxie. He knows when to come through for a team. And this time he didn't have to carry the team on his back. He had help. But congratulations to our new Trios champions. Next up, we had the WPA Tag Team Champions in action as Money, MF, and Mike and Brasshole took on David, the Beast Smith, and Luscious Lucius, a team we're calling, what do they call those guys? The Swag Patrol? Beauty and the Beast? Oh, Makeout Sesh. Now, normally Money Mike would have been teaming with his partner, Big Mel, but Big Mel was busy getting ready for a world title shot. And he probably could have used Big Mel, as the Beast and Luscious Lucius defeated the tag team champs and took their gold when the Beast hit the Beast Bomb on the Brasshole. Pinned him 1, 2, 3, while Luscious Lucius kept Money Mike at bay. So congratulations, we got new tag team champs. We folks, there was titles being transferred almost all night. What would happen to the Intercontinental champ? As Queen Starling Jade took on Lady Assassin in a match she really didn't want to be in. And folks, say what you want about the Queen. Oh, she can't get to a world title shot. She loses title shots to qualifying matches for world titles. But when it comes to her Intercontinental title, she will fight you tooth over nail, friend or foe. And her and Lady Assassin, if you remember, October 17th, 2021, these two fought for the right to be called the queen, and the queen was able to defeat the lady assassin. And once again, the queen defeated Lady Assassin to remain our Intercontinental Champion. Now, after the match and the show of true sportsmanship, Queen Starling J helped up Lady Assassin, and they shook hands in the ring to a roar from the crowd of cheers. Yeah. True sportsmanship. You know, if they ever tag teamed up, I think they'd get gold. Now, in our main event, we had the Big J Bowski taking on Big Mel. Big Mel, former WPA champion, although he probably didn't really deserve to be WPA champion, but that's neither here nor there. He was taking on the Big J Bowski, and folks, I would say it was almost a 5-star match. I gave it 4 stars, though. Could have been a little bit better, a little bit closer. But the Big J Bowski was able to outlast Big Mel after he made a fatal mistake during the match and retained his title. So, Big Mel, not a world champ, goes back to his faction. And they're not tag champs either. No belts. Nada. And that was it, folks. All that happened yesterday. Now, because of his incident the other night on Thursday morning, Phil will not be here to give you his pick, as he is trying to recuperate from being almost choked to death by Johnny Rocco, who also seems to have freed that psycho of a freaking nerd, Melvin P. Thurgood III. I'm gonna have to keep some stuff in this room. It's getting kind of. So, who do we think, folks, was the most impressive yesterday night? Well, I'm gonna go with a pick that Philip made not too long ago, and I'm gonna pick Shona Campbell. Let's look at the track record so far. Bam, triple threat champion. Bam, #1 contender for the television championship, which I think she can win. This is after being on a win up and down streak against her former faction and having to be held captive. Folks, I see when her and Lady Assassin meet, Lady Assassin better be ready for Shona Campbell. She could be Shona 2 belts. But that would be my pick. Who would be your pick? Let us know down below in the comments. We can argue about it. We can debate about it. We can agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, I don't think anybody's been more impressive. I'm pretty sure Philip would agree if he could really talk. But that's all we got today, folks. It's NBA All-Star Weekend. And hopefully the game is a lot more exciting than the dunk contest. That shit sucked. But I'm Johnathan T. Rokford. We'll see you again Saturday from the front row. Deuces. don't know why. Philip thought he wasn't going to get away from Johnny. I mean, did he not see what he did to me? I mean, come on, dude. That's crazy. Well, hopefully that's over. Now we got to worry about Melvin, dude. I swear. Who's who?